Welcome to Small Steps. My name is Seth Potts and I want to show you conditional formatting in Excel. If you're wanting to visualize your data a little better for yourself, or if you're going to pass on your analysis to somebody else, conditional formatting is a quick and easy way to do that. On the Home tab and under the Styles section, you can find the Conditional Formatting button. Let's go through some of the features. The first thing you're going to do is highlight the cells or column that has the data that you want to format. So highlight these numbers here. These are all hour, minute, second for times on calls. And when you start at the top here, it has certain options that are common uses. So for this, for numbers or like this time, these top options here are quite useful. Greater than, less than, between, two times or two numbers, or equal to. So for this, we'll say we want to look at all calls that we spent more than an hour on. And it automatically populates with this light red fill with dark red text. I typically leave it at that if I'm just looking for something quick here. So you can see it automatically highlights those options here, just the items that were over an hour. You can change this and kind of get a preview of what you want. Let's say we want just over 30 minutes. And you see it'll fill in more like that. So it works the same way with the other items on here for the less than, between, equal to. A few other options they have here is for columns that contain text. You can specify if there's a certain text that would be contained in any of those. It would highlight those as well. The date occurring is a bit of a different menu here. When you highlight those dates, it has a drop down that has specific criteria here. Yesterday, today, tomorrow. It goes to next month. The last month is the widest range it has there. The last item on this list up here is this duplicate values. Now this is something that I use quite often when I have numbers kind of like this, these cat IDs or case numbers. When I have a long list and I'm trying to find duplicate items, you can highlight that column and go down to this duplicate values. It'll automatically find all those duplicates for you, and it will do duplicates, or you could flip it around and do just the unique numbers. This next menu down is the top bottom rules. So when you're dealing with numbers or time, things like that, it will allow you to choose the top 10 items or percent, or the same for the bottom. For these times, it'll show the highest amount of time. So everything getting up here towards the 2-hour mark is our highest. When you do that, you can also choose, it doesn't have to be 10, that's what it defaults to, but you can lower that down, say you want the top 4, 3, anything like that. It'll do the same for the bottom or also for the percentage there. The other thing it is kind of nice is if you're looking at everything that's going to be above an average or below an average, it automatically calculates that and will highlight based on those rules as well. The next section down with the data bars, color scales, and icon sets are all fairly similar. So we have this time still highlighted here. You can see it's got kind of the same setup where the larger amount of times, the higher it gets, the longer the bars are. It's got the preset colors. The color scale kind of is a heat map kind of thing. Some pretty good practical uses for that in our field. Icon sets are kind of interesting as well. They have different shapes, flags, things like that. Now all these, they're kind of all linked together here. When you click on this More Rules, it gives you some extended options for each of those. As you can see with the color scales, you can do 2 or 3, or those data bars going across. You can change your colors, make them solid fill to gradient fill. You can really kind of customize how that looks. From this menu here, these icon sets, they're defaulted to like a percentile on that for each of those, so you can customize that however you want on those options up there. These last few items are the management for your rules. You can clear rules that you've already put in place by the selected cells or the entire sheet. If you have a table, it'll do that, or a pivot table as well. You can clear by any of those options there. If you're not sure what rules you've put into place, this Manage Rules will take you to a screen that'll show you any rules that you have for the highlighted areas. And then this last section is New Rule. If none of these other items really fit for you, or you just want to jump straight to kind of the advanced section of customizing what rules you have here, this is where you would go for that. Now let's go over a few practical uses for some of these items. If you have information like this that is a count of events or crimes by the hour of day and day of week, and you're trying to find a good way to present where these high times are and the low times are, you can take this information, highlight the numbers there, and go to this color scales, and they have the different color choices. You can make up your own. I typically like, for things like this, red, yellow, green. Makes it pretty easy to stand out. So you can look at this pretty easily and see this red is the higher times, more events or crimes occurring, and these green and yellow are a little more moderate or low. One more good use for conditional formatting is to view percent change. You could just keep the numbers, but once again, if you have this formatted in a way like this, you can pick out real quick what's gone down in green and what's gone up in red. So since I already have these done, we're going to go to the manage rules and see what we did here. So we basically selected that range, that same range for all of those, and made a 4 different rules. We did the 0 and NA. We wanted those formatted in this yellow. Cell values that are less than 0, so anything's gone down, and the negative is green, and then everything's gone up over 0% is going to be in that red. So just to see what it looks like here, you can click on those and edit rule. So from this menu we were at earlier, you do the format only cells that contain. So we did the cell value less than 0, and then we formatted it in the green and clicked OK. That's what adds a rule like that, and you do that for each of those. And then when you're done, you're left with the color results to make it a lot easier to see your information. If you found this tutorial helpful and would like to see more, click like and subscribe below. The next video coming up is over VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP.